So hey, I loved hearing from you, Justin. Nice to hear from you. I think I had seen a couple of your videos before because I recognized your name and I was kind of excited to see what you had posted. So, greatly um, see, ego boosted, I suppose, by your great compliments. So, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Being 15, I mean, you're further ahead of this than I am. All right, so getting on to the things, I have a sprawling list of notes, I suppose, because there were lots of things I wanted to respond to. So you say that you believe all of the New Testament. That was one thing that you put out there right at the beginning. That I kind of holding it down. Um, so I'd like you to elaborate on this. Like, why are you willing to put your money down 100% on the New Testament? I know you covered it a little more later. You said that it aligns with history. Um, yes and no. I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear that Jesus existed. I mean, we have records of that. Um, I mean, it's clear he existed, just like it's clear that there were dozens of other messiahs out at the same time as him. I need to research more about it. I've heard some people say there were like lots, and I've heard some people say, and there were a couple. But I mean, if it's any comparison to like nowadays, I mean, we have tons of messiahs in our modern world. So how many would there have been back then? I mean, I think there would have been a lot. But for some reason, Jesus has stuck around. I mean, so yes, historically speaking, true. Jesus, I think he existed. But what really matters, what really makes the New Testament something that should be maybe called into question, um, are the things that can't be supported historically, are the things that can't be supported scientifically, and again, in fact, go against science. Um, and these are the things that all the hoopla is about. I mean, things like walking on water, turning water to wine, rising from the dead. I mean, these are all the things that there's absolutely no reason to believe. There's nothing. I mean, if there was, I think I would have heard about it. I think you probably would have heard about it. If you've heard about it, you should let me know. But I haven't. And without that, he was just a man. Without that, most of it isn't true. And furthermore, it's not significant. And furthermore, there would be no Christianity. So to say that you completely believe the New Testament because it's historically founded, um, it's addressing part of the thing, but it's not really addressing the real thing that'll make or break it. Agreeing, being a liberal Christian, that not all of the Bible is true 100%. You don't think it's all 100% inspired. So what you have, I mean, what you have to kind of admit to yourself is that um, not there is some method for falsity to come into the Bible. I mean, you are reading from this book that you are placing your faith about eternity and the ways of the universe in, and people somehow snuck in things that weren't true. And how do you account for that? And if you allow that possibility, and if in fact you believe that possibility, like I think you do, and you believe it did happen, once again, where do we draw the line? I mean, yes, we can support that this guy existed, we can support that this place was real, that this event happened, but there's nothing profound about these things. There's nothing biblical about these things. All the things that make the Bible worth believing in and putting your faith in, there's nothing. So, what's to say that the guys, the places, the events were all true, but the way that the stories were made kind of, a little added here, a little added there, and pretty soon we have people walking on water. How do we know that that can't happen, especially when you're already admitting that there's a possibility for inaccuracy? How do you account for that difference? I'm still not clear on that. Um, it's You say it's just where we put our faith. You say that yes, we're Christian. You believe in Christianity, but that just happens to be where you put your faith. Um, that sounds like gambling. You spin a wheel, you put all your money down on lucky number 12. Why 12? Because you just gotta put your money down somewhere. Maybe you'll win. maybe you'll get lucky. But I think you're about 12 and about 4,000, so the odds aren't really for you. You said that you can prove that we can't measure up to God. I mean, I could have faith that we can. I could just say to you, I have faith that we can measure up to God. Would you be able to counter that? Would you have any disagreement? You disagree, I'm sure, but why? And how would you support that? By your faith? Okay. So now we both have faith. And we both randomly picked numbers, and you picked 12 and I picked 32. And you're saying, no, it's not going to be 32 because I have faith it's 12. And I'm saying, no, it's not going to be 12 because I have faith it's 32. Well, we're not getting anywhere. There's no reason for us to think either way. The wheel's just spinning, and we can't see how it's coming. We're in the same boat. So this leads me to a bigger discussion. And I bring this up because faith came up a lot in the second half of your video. Here's my beef with faith. I'm gonna read this to you. Faith has no ground rules. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I know you know the phrase, with God all things are possible. Well, with faith, all things are believable. I'd be super stoked if you had a counter argument to this. So have at it. Just try and do it. But with faith, all things are believable. If you don't have a counter argument to this, then do you see any problem with this, with being able to have faith in anything and therefore believe in anything? I really can. If faith allows for all things to be believed without discrimination, you can't discern between them because faith is faith and you just put your money down wherever you want. Or whether it happens to fall or whatever factor, you don't even know what factor is involved, maybe. If faith allows for all things without discrimination to be believed, then that means I can believe productive things as well as destructive things. My faith can directly lead to the benefit of society, and it can directly lead to the downfall of society. And there's no difference between the two. Am I mistaken, or is this congruent with how faith has been applied in history? Am I mistaken, or is this congruent with how faith is being applied currently in our world? You know what I'm talking about. To me, faith is a bit of a loose cannon. Sure, maybe if I had the right kind of faith, I would be doing great things. But if I was actually doing horrible things, and I had faith that my horrible things were great things, by what method would I be able to regulate myself? And by what method would you be able to regulate me? Just food for thought, that whole, if you think that faith, if there is a rhyme or reason to faith, if there's a method, like, you know what, nope, you can't have faith in these things. That's not faithful. That is not congruent with the concept of faith. Then you know what, that whole thing is thrown out the window. My whole argument is thrown out the window. And at that point, I think you could have faith, and maybe I should, in that case. But I currently don't see any reason why that's not the case. I don't see any reason why I can't have faith in anything I want. Sure, I could be lying to myself, and I could be lying to you by saying I have faith in these things, and I could do things in the name of that faith, but you'll never be able to know. You'll never be able to know if my faith is true. And even if my faith is true, if I truly have faith in something, but my faith just happens to include the destruction of thousands of lives, yeah, you don't like it. Yeah, their families don't like it. Yeah, probably the world and most rational human beings do not like it. But if you've allowed me to have faith in whatever I want, then that's fine. And I'm not fine with that. So that's my beef with faith. Got really serious on there, didn't ya? Haha. Didn't mean to get that dark and dreary, ooh. But that's my thing with faith. It was a bit of a I'll call that a rational rant, I suppose. Didn't start yelling, but intellectually, those were some pretty harsh things I said. So, hope I didn't come off too strongly. Really look forward to hearing back from you in the future. You're a cool guy. I really have enjoyed your videos in the past. I haven't checked out as many of them. I mean, you seem to have checked out more of mine, and I feel bad that I haven't reciprocated, so maybe I will in the next few days. But look forward to hearing back what you have to say. So, talk to you later, man.